say?
I don't know. The one person in the victory line is blocking that word.
Can the, is that a can? Can the Wildcats?
Probably Wildcats.
C-A-N, can the, and here they come. The Johnson Jaguars come onto the field. They got a loud band. Did you hear that band crank up? Fort Payne will be on defense, and right away Fort Payne's going to be called on to stop Mr. Jeremiah Barnes. And we will check him out as soon as we get out in the field, but the Wildcat band is down to our right. That's the Johnson band you hear now to our left as they strike up a tune. Does that Hold That Tiger, Roger?
No, that's not Hold That Tiger.
Hold That Wildcat, baby.
That's it.
Roger's in rare form tonight. This will be our last road trip for Ronnie Ross, who has announced his retirement. He and Terry Bowden have quit. So Ronnie's last road trip with us.
Well, I announced my retirement 2 weeks ago.
Yes, you did. So kind of a sad day today for us, Roger, as Ronnie has announced he's not going to be with the Wildcat broadcast crew next year, and you just get real emotional. Let me talk about it.
Oh, Larry, please, just don't talk about it.
So Fort Payne will kick it off. There's Jeremiah Barnes back deep, standing in the middle. And on the near side will be Rodney Steele. On the far side will be Russell McGuire. So we want to keep it away from Barnes. Fort Payne's kickoff team did a lot better last week, and they're going to onside kick it, and it's caught at the 45-yard line, and down he goes. I don't know if that was supposed to be an onside kick, but it didn't take that big bounce like you expect onside kicks to go. And Johnson will have the ball in great field position right at the 45. So Johnson will get the ball first, and Wally Steele, quarterback, has headed into the game, so we're going to see how he's doing. We'll also keep an eye on number 1, Nicholas Wells, who's split to this near side of the field. They have Barnes as a single back in the backfield. Correction, they have Barnes on that wing on the far side, and that's, I think, Terry Miller, the fullback back there. Man in motion on the far side. They give it to one to the far side, got across the 45, got up to the 47. That was Barnes. They lined Barnes up on the wing on this near side and sent him to the far side, and he picked up about 2 yards.
Looked like David Crabtree along with Jonathan Dreyer over there making the tackle. Jonathan looks like he's real fired up for the game. Maybe the band down here's got him fired up.
Give him a 2-yard gain. So they lined Jeremiah Barnes up on the wing, ran the reverse to him to the far side, talking to the coaching staff. They say when they line him up in the wing, as that fullback there, he's most definitely going to get the ball. Barnes is now lined up on the wing on this near side. Wally Steele is your quarterback. Steele's going to hand it up the middle. That big fullback, he got across the 50 and got to the 49-yard line. Fumbled the football, and they're going to say he was down, I think. Just as he crossed midfield, yeah, they say he was down. And that was, who's that? Was that number 10 carrying the football?
Yeah, that was number 10, Rodney Steele carried the ball. Number 41 for Fort Payne. Harry Wright made the tackle. Looked like the ball was loose. The official stepped in and said, no, he was down.
He's got 4 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 for this Johnson team from the Wildcat 49-yard line. Steele is your quarterback. And they're going to run their option play, running straight back. They'll throw the ball across the middle, incomplete. I don't know who he was throwing that ball for, but Steele had nobody down around the 25-yard line where that ball was sent. And Fort Payne sends in their kick receiving team. Johnson will just now send in their punting team.
Actually, Jonathan Sugar for Fort Payne was the closest to the ball and had a chance to make the interception, but really he was kind of overthrown like the Johnson players, and they will punt.
It looked like a busted play as Johnson, he still had those 2 wingbacks kind of standing up there, and nobody really went out for the pass. Going to try to kick the ball, got a low snap, and got away a kick that is spiraling kick. It's going to be a fair caught. No, they let it drop now, and it's going to be down at the 25-yard line, so Fort Payne will come out of this in good field position.
Good job by Darrell Prater. He saw they were closing on him quick, and he was probably going to be hit down immediately, so he just lets it bounce, and they have the ball right there. First time for Fort Payne on offense tonight.
At the 27-yard line, their own 27-yard line, so we're going to get a chance to see right off the bat how healthy Darrell Prater is. We do have a crowd, Mike. There's just not a big crowd here tonight. Only noise you're hearing from that crowd, Mike, is the band occasionally. Fort Payne will send Thomas Ross to the far side, and they'll line Alex Igo up on the near side. The I formation, Jonathan Dreyer is your fullback. Igo in motion to the far side, and going to run his option play to the far side. Kept the ball and pitch it to Darrell. Darrell got across the 25, got a block to the 30, got outside, 35-yard line, and goes all the way up to the 37, picked up his first down at the 37. 7-yard line. Let's check it. It's going to be real close to the first down marker. It will be a first down if Darrell goes for 11 yards on his first play.
And the player that was late arriving on the field for Johnson 30, Shannon Madre, is the one that knocked him out of bounds.
They'll mark him at the 38-yard line, so Darrell looked pretty good on his first run there, Roger.
He didn't look like any ill effects from being out last week with the knee sprain.
The eye set for the Wildcats. Slot man on this near side is Justin Payne. And they'll look over, Kenny Chadwick looks over that Johnson defense. And Kenny Chadwick will run his option play again. Gave it to Dreyer, and Jonathan Dreyer bulls his way to the 44-yard line. They ran right at the Johnson Jaguars. And Dreyer went from the 38 to the 44, a 6-yard gain for the big fullback for Fort Payne, Jonathan Dreyer.
Good blocking job by the left side of the Wildcat offensive line. Finally, number 10, Rodney Steele, brought him down. And he picks up, 6 yards on the play.
2nd down and 4 for the Wildcats. At the 44-yard line, the eye, same set for the Wildcats. Chadwick's going to run his option again. Gave it to Dreyer. Found the hole. Got to the 45. Got to the 50. Got across the 50 to the 47-yard line. And Jonathan Dreyer just carried one of those big defensive backs with him as he got it all the way down to the Johnson 47. So a 9-yard carry there for Jonathan Dreyer. Looks easy so far, Raj.
Yeah, a little fight there between Johnson, not a physical fight, but over the ball, the Johnson guy trying to take it away from him.
So here is Fort Payne. They marched from the 38, from the 27 in 3 plays. And here is the eye set again for the Wildcats. Kenny Chadwick is your quarterback. And Chadwick looks over that Johnson defense, maybe changing the play. And looks like they're going to bring a linebacker, and now here's a flag. Fort Payne may have moved. Looks like Kenny was trying to check into something, and maybe one of the Wildcat offensive linemen moved.
A little bit of unusual formation by the Johnson defense there, and I think it caused Kenny, as you said, Kenny to try to change the play from the line of scrimmage, and we had movement by Fort Payne.
Back to the 48-yard line, their own 48-yard line, with 9:23 to go in the first quarter. No score between Fort Payne and Johnson. This will be the Cobra to the near side. He is single covered over here. Johnson has about 8 men up on that line of scrimmage. They send the man in motion. I go back to the near side of the field. Runs a trap play up the middle. Gave it to Jonathan Dreyer. Dreyer tried to break one tackle. Did break a tackle, but didn't get much out of it. Struggling, got maybe a yard back to the 49-yard line. They tried to run that quick trap in the middle, and not a whole lot there for Fort Payne. As Dreyer will go for a yard, it'll be a 2nd down and 15 for the Wildcats. We'll give him a yard on the play.
Rodney Steele again made the tackle for the Jaguars.
This time Tate will come to the near side, and Thomas Ross will go to the far side. 2nd down and long for Fort Payne. Kenny may be checking again. And Kenny will roll straight back to pass. He's looking over here for Pate. Throws it across the middle. He has a man, and it's going to bump down there. No call. As they tried to hit, he's Owen down the middle. And he kind of got turned around down there, had some contact, but no call. The pass will fall incomplete.
Well, it was down around the 30-yard line, and he's never really even looked for the ball. It was past him before he realized it was thrown in his direction. So as he did, he become entangled with one of the defenders from Johnson.
3rd down play for the Wildcats, the possession play. The Fort Payne headed in great shape, and then the penalty killed Fort Payne's chances. They send a couple pair of receivers out to this near side. Slot man is Heath Owen. 3rd down possession play. Kenny looks over the defense, now changes the play again. Now straight back, rolls to the right now, looking for a run-pass option, and he's in trouble, and he's going to be up to the 50-yard line. Got across the 50, got to the 45, but he's still going to be short of the first down. Good run by Kenny Chadwick. Picked up 6 yards on the play, but he'll be about 9 yards short of the first down.
Good job by Kenny. He was looking to the right side to try to pass off to Alex Igo. Couldn't find him open, and he picks up, well, basically the 5 yards that they lost on the penalty. So it's 4th and almost 10, and the Wildcats will have to punt the ball away.
Kenny Chadwick will kick it away, and Johnson will send a single receiver deep. And that receiver standing around his own 10-yard line will be number 20, Russell McGuire. Got a good snap, plenty of time, got away a good spiraling kick that's going to be on this near sideline, and it's going to be, is it into the end zone? It is into the end zone with a touchback, and Johnson will start on the 20-yard line.
Close, Larry, to being out on about the 1. Just barely missed it. A good kick by Kenny.
He missed it by about a yard or so, but the Johnson Jaguars will set up on their 20-yard line. So, Roger, Fort Payne had a good drive going there, and then the penalty stopped the Wildcats.
Absolutely, Larry. Looks like they were going to move the ball well, and just the stop of Jonathan Dreyer up the middle on one play, then the penalty on the next kind of killed that one.
So here will come Johnson with that second try. Wally Steele will be your quarterback, and that tailback is number 22. We don't have a 22 on our roster. Now they send the man in motion, going to run back to the far side. Got a big hold to the 25-30, and look out. He's going up to the 40, 45-yard line, and a saving tackle there as he got to the 45-yard line. That was Jeremiah Bonds, the speedster. And he almost broke that all the way, went from the 20 to the 45, 46-yard line, a 26-yard run by Jeremiah Bonds.
Yeah, as soon as he broke the line of scrimmage, Larry, it was just see if anyone would catch him. Fortunately, they brought him down at the 47-yard line, still Johnson's own 47, where it'll be 1st and 10.
So that was Jeremiah Bonds, and we've had a chance to see his speed for the first time tonight. Now, where is Bonds lined up? He's lined up at the tailback position. They run out of this to Bonds, and there he goes. He got hit in the backfield and drugged down. Good job there by the Wildcat defense as they came across there, and Gary Wright knocked him down right around the line of scrimmage.
Also on the tackle was Jonathan Dreyer, as usual, along with number 70, Will Stevens.
So we'll be generous and give him a 2-yard gain on that play.
That was Bonds again, Jeremiah Bonds.
That was Jeremiah Bonds. Coaching staff told us every time he lined up at the tailback position, in every film they had seen, he carried the ball. So let's see where Bonds is this time. They put Bonds on the wing on this near side. They dropped number 22 that we don't have on our roster. We think that is Michael Alexander. Back there, they send a man in motion to the far side, going to run the inside reverse. Got to the 50 and got shot down as he got across the 50 to the Wildcat 48. They ran the inside reverse and handed the ball back to number 20 that we don't have. Yes, we do have him on the roster. He's Russell McGuire. And McGuire picked up yardage. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for Johnson.
Good job by Zane Hardinger not falling for the fake and staying at home and able to make the tackle after a short gain.
Actually, about a yard gain. That's all he got out of that. So it'll be 3rd down and about 4 for the Jaguars as another possession play. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. There is no score. Johnson will have Steele in there, and Bonds is the wingman on the near side, going to the far side, gave it up the middle of the fullback, and he did not get his first down. He never made the 45, and it'll be 4th down and about 2 for Fort Payne, but gang tackling there by the Wildcats.
They will mark it on the 46, which is 2 yards shy of the first down. So the opportunity here, will they kick or will they go for a 4th and 2 here early in the, or midway through the first quarter?
They punted from here a little while ago on their last possession, but it was 4th and 4, 4th and 2, and Fort Payne has stopped Johnson on every play except for that 26-yard run by Jeremiah Bonds, and they're looking a long time now. I think Coach Wells has decided to go for it. When you're 2 and 6, you can go for plays like this, can't you? So they're going to go for it on 4th down. They've got to get it across the 45 down to near the 44 for the first down. And they go send Bonds in motion, gave it to Bonds on the far side, trying to get outside, and Bonds is going to be hit down, but he got his first down, broke the tackle down that far side, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Jeremiah Bonds broke a tackle around the 45-yard line and went all the way for the touchdown.
And Larry, we almost had him stopped without even picking up the first down. 57, Brian Jones almost got him back at the 50-yard line and just couldn't bring him down. Then he got loose on the far sideline and outraced everyone to the end zone.
Yeah, it looked for a while like they weren't even going to make the first down, as you mentioned, but then Bonds broke the tackle and went down that sideline, and Fort Payne didn't have anybody that could run him down. Now Marco Pruitt will try to kick up the extra point, and the snap is there on a penalty play, and check the flag. I think that Johnson may have moved before the ball was there for snap. Check the flag.
Was that, I think it's 64, Troy Ragland kicking.
All right, let's see. It's got to be against, I would think it would have to be against Fort Payne as the referee threw the flag. What's the penalty? Backfield in motion against Johnson. They'll step it back 5 yards and kick it again.
It is 64, Troy Ragland.
All right. So now we've lost all the balls. Now they have another ball out there.
Apparently that ball went over the signs in the what would be the outfield when we're in baseball configuration, and nobody can get to it. So we have to throw another ball in.
You could lose a lot of balls if you scored a lot of touchdowns there. You said that's number 64?
Number 64, Troy Ragland.
So Ragland will try to put up the extra point. His straight ahead kick is up and no good. Kicked it off to the right. So with 4:53 to go in the first quarter, Johnson leads at 6-0. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network. Roger, we got a chance to see that tailback that we were so concerned about, Jeremiah Barnes. 2 plays. Once he went 26 yards, then he went 46 for the touchdown.
And basically, Larry, that's the only 2 plays of that drive that amounted for very much over 3 or 4 yards.
Fort Payne will now get the kickoff as they send Ragland in there to kick it away. And waiting on the referee's whistle, and there it is. So you're going to see his kick now. Coach was telling me that they lost their kicker, so this is their backup kicker. Got it put into this one and knocked it into the end zone. Fort Payne will start on their 20-yard line. So the Wildcats will set up in business on their 20, trailing 6-0. Need to get a drive going here. Looked good on their first drive, but the penalty cost the Wildcats.
Yeah, there was 2 factors. One was the 5-yard penalty, and the other was on a critical carry. Michael Dreyer was kind of stuffed for no gain. That kind of disrupted everything, and the Wildcats stalled. But it looked like that they were going to be able to move the ball.
Well, another thing that happened on that other drive was that Darrell Prater only touched the ball 1 time, picked up 11 yards on the only time he carried the ball. I would think that coaching staff would want to get that ball to Dreyer a little bit more on this drive. Kenny looks over that defense, maybe changing the player in his option play, kept himself and pitches the ball to Darrell. 30, 30, 20, 35, 30, up to the 32-yard line, and he's carried it twice for big yardage. He went to the mark him at the 40. What did they mark him? Mark him at the 32-yard line, so a 12-yard gain for Darrell Prater.
Well, give the credit for the last few yards on that play to 83. Thomas Ross with a good block here on the near sideline.
They actually move him up to the 33. Is only a 13-yard run for Darrell Prater. He's carried the ball twice for 24 yards. 4:45 to go in the opening quarter. Johnson leads it by a score of 6-0. That's the Jaguar band you hear in the background. Got to run his trap play up the middle, gave it to Dreyer, found the hole, got it near the 40-yard line. They'll mark him just short of the 40. That quick counter trap to the far side, and Jonathan Dreyer went to the, where are they going to mark him, 39-yard line. So a 6-yard gain for Jonathan Dreyer. You could probably play in that man.
I'm sure I can. Did you know I'm a trombonist?
No, I knew you had a lot of talent, but I didn't know that trombonist was one of them.
Absolutely.
Maybe you could bring your trumpet next week and play it the last game.
I don't play a trumpet.
Trombone, then.
Oh, okay.
Get a second down. I go in motion back to the near side of the ball. Going to give the ball up the middle of Darrell Prater on the penalty play. Got to the 40, got to the 45, and check the flag. Referee threw the flag in the backfield. They're going to say it's an illegal shift against Fort Payne. I didn't see anybody move, did you?
No, I didn't, but it was thrown way in the backfield, and it was thrown immediately.
And the Fort Payne has stopped themselves again. That would have been another first down, but it'll be a 5-yard step off against the Wildcats as they got Fort Payne for an illegal shift. And see if Fort Payne can overcome this penalty. They couldn't overcome the last one, and they're going to have to march it back to somewhere around the 35-yard line. Should be about the 34, probably. Mark it right on the 35. That's actually a 4-yard penalty because they were on the 39. So we'll take that, won't we? 5-yard step off, we'll say. From the 35, Fort Payne's got to get to the 43 for the first down. It is second down, and Chris Mitchell in there at the fullback position for Fort Payne. And Fort Payne's going to run the trap to Darrell. Darrell got a hole outside. They got chopped down as they got across the 35. Looked like if he had another step, could have got to the outside, he may have run down that sideline. Fort Payne's going to be third down and about 5.
Marco Pruitt, along with, I believe it was number 50, Jason Jones, did a good job for the Johnson Jaguars that time, stopping Darrell after a pickup of about 3 yards. So it's third down and a long 5.
3:33 to go in the game. This is a big possession for the Wildcats. You don't need to turn this ball right back over to Johnson. They drove for a touchdown on their last play. Darrell has the ball. Darrell is going to be close to the first down as he got across the 40. And if he didn't get it, he's going to be within 2 inches of it.
I believe he has it, Larry, on that second effort, unless they move it backwards. And I think where they're setting it, first down, Fort Payne.
And they're going to bring the chains in. But I think that as normally is normally the case, your eyes are exactly right, and it probably will be a first down for Fort Payne when they get through stretching these chains. But let's check them out and see. I think it's either way, it's going to be close enough to go for it if you didn't get it. So Raj, he went from the 38 to the 43, 5-yard gain, and it is
inches short, maybe.
Short by 2 inches. Now they're going to stretch them out again. No, they're not. 4th down, and that much. 4th down and about 2 inches. I would think you would probably go for it here, wouldn't you?
As you said about Johnson earlier, why not?
What did I say about Johnson earlier? That would indicate that we should go for it. We're going to go for it. Here is Fort Payne rushing up to the line of scrimmage, and they split the, look at that formation. They got players spread out all over the field. They run the option play to catch Chadwick, and he got his first down. Johnson didn't know what to do. Did you see those Fort Payne had? They rushed up to the line of scrimmage. They had their center and their 2 guards there. Kenny Chadwick was there, but players were spread everywhere, and Johnson didn't know what to do. Chadwick kept it for the first down.
Yeah, that was Rory Jones all the way over here to the near sideline.
He's up 4 yards up to the 47-yard line, so Fort Payne gets their first down. And here is Chadwick to the line of scrimmage. I want to run that formation again. Johnson looked awfully confused there. Going to run the Darrell. Darrell got across the 45, got to the 50, got to the 45, and on down to the 44-yard line. He's going to be a yard short of the first down. A 9-yard run for Darrell Prater on the first carry, so Fort Payne moving the football.
Good job by Darrell once again. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down as the band plays the Backstabbers.
The Backstabbers. Is that what that is?
Certainly is.
They got a pretty good band, don't they? Got a lot of majorettes over there. So here's Fort Payne, 2nd and 1 with Thomas Ross to the near side. Heath Owen is your tight end on the far side. Jonathan Dreyer is your fullback. And Chadwick looks over that defense. Looks like a big hole on the left side of this line. That's where Fort Payne's going to run it. Busted play. Kenny kept himself, darted inside, got his first down to the 40-yard line. Looked like a busted play as Kenny turned around and gave the ball to Jonathan Dreyer, and Jonathan had gone the other way. Kenny kept it for his first down.
Well, a good job by Kenny. He also had Darrell Prater trailing on the left, and for a moment he thought about throwing to Darrell, and over the last few weeks he's done that, and we've lost it on a fumble, so a good decision by Kenny to keep the ball.
A minute 50 to go in the opening quarter. Fort Payne, Johnson trails. Johnson leads 6-0 against Fort Payne. Fort Payne spreads the field again. Thomas Ross is your wide out to the near side on a first down play. Chadwick's going to pitch the ball to Darrell. Darrell got a block out there from Jonathan Dreyer, cut it back in, got another block, got to the 40, got to the 38-yard line, picked up 4 yards, and it didn't look like there was anything there.
Absolutely, he did that on his own, twisting and spinning inside the 40, and they're going to mark it on between the 37 and the 38, and it'll be 2nd and about 6.
So he got a good block out there from Jonathan Dreyer, a minute 12 to go for Fort Payne. They have it inside the 40 of Johnson. Fort Payne trails at 6-0. Wildcats have all 9 men on the line of scrimmage now. Going to run Darrell on the power play, broke it to the 30-yard line and got his first down inside the 30. Fort Payne had double tight end formation, ran right at Johnson, and they ran the power play, and Darrell picked up a first down to the Johnson 30-yard line, picked up 7 yards on the play.
Johnson's players going for the ball there, Larry, trying to separate Darrell from the ball. Darrell did a good job of holding on that one.
6 first downs for Fort Payne in the game.
And this will be the 11th play in this drive. So here is Fort Payne at the Johnson 30 with 45 seconds to go in the quarter. Fort Payne sends a man in motion back to the near side of the field. That's Thomas Ross. Going to pitch the ball to Darrell. Darrell looking for a block outside. Now he's going to cut it back in and dove inside the 28. Wasn't a whole lot there, but he dove inside the 28. They may have Johnson set up for that pass from Darrell Prater. But it'll be from the 30 down to the 27, about a 3-yard gain for Darrell Prater with 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Fort Payne does not have to run another play in this quarter. Be good if they get down to the other end of the field. They're about to get out of our view here. 9 seconds to go in the quarter. And as you like to say, Roger, Fort Payne may or may not get off another play. They will not get off another play as the first quarter comes to an end, but the officials never blew the whistle. They gave it to Dreyer. Kenny kept the ball outside and didn't get anything out of it. The clock had already run out, and the officials didn't blow the whistle. And Kenny kept himself and stopped right along the line of scrimmage. They still haven't blown the whistle. The quarter has been over for several minutes. Now they finally noticed that it's over. They stopped at the end of the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, the score is Johnson 6, Fort Payne nothing. We'll be back on the Wildcats Sports Network. Fort Payne facing 3rd and 7 from the Johnson 27-yard line. Wildcats will send Thomas Ross to the far side. Heath Owen is your tight end on the near side. Jonathan Dreyer is your fullback. Fort Payne's got to get to the 21 for the first down. Kenny looks over that defense, and Kenny Chadwick is going to run the inside reverse to Anthony Thompson. He didn't get anything out of it. They tried to fake the pitch to Darrell and ran the inside reverse to Anthony, and somebody was waiting there to hit him right at the line of scrimmage.
That was number 50, Jason Jones, 210, 5'11", senior, who read it all the way and put the hitting on Thompson.
Fort Payne's going to go for it on 4th down, trailing 6-0. You know, it's awfully hard to kick a field goal. We were talking down on the field. You can't even see the goal to our left down here, as it's that baseball fence that's right behind it. It's all basically the same color. Here's a 4th down play. Dreyer, they have a double tight end formation. Darrell Prater's the only back in the backfield. And Fort Payne is going to pitch the ball, give the ball, fake the ball to Darrell, run it to the far side. Kenny can run it for the first down, and Kenny's going to run the ball, got his first down. Good job there by Kenny Chadwick, as he was about 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and faked the pass, and maybe he'll pull that Johnson player long enough just to get the first down at the 20-yard line. And it'll be a first down for Fort Payne. A good run there and good play calling by the Wildcats.
Well, Kenny, if he wanted to risk it, had Thomas Ross loose on the right side. Mike could hit him for a touchdown, but he goes the safe route and picks up the first down for Fort Payne at the 19-yard line.
So here is Fort Payne at the Johnson 19, trying to tie this game. They trail it 6-0. The eye set, and Dreyer is in there fullback. Now they move Dreyer to the tight end. They go with double tight end sets, and Prater is the only back in the backfield. Kenny Chadwick's going to fake the ball, give the ball on the reverse, and Darrell's going to be at 10. It's going to be at the 5-yard line, with the 10-yard line across the 10 down to the 9, got his first down. So Darrell goes for 10 yards and a Wildcat first down inside the 10-yard line.
Boy, he crossed that 10 about 3 different times, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he's fast. I've been telling you all year the guy was fast. And Fort Payne cannot get a first down as they mark it right at the 9-yard line. This will be the 17th play in this drive. And this is exactly what Fort Payne needed to do against Johnson. They go to the double tight end set and the I formation. Kenny Chadwick is your quarterback, and Chadwick will give the ball to Darrell. Darrell's at the 10. Darrell's at the 5-yard line. And Fort Payne will just try to run right at Johnson. He ran it down to the, well, they're going to mark him at the 6, so a 3-yard gain for Darrell Prater. Darrell has had an awful lot of yardage on this drive, Ronnie.
So far in the game, Darrell's had 10 carries for 67 yards, so he's by far the leading ball carrier for the Wildcats.
And all of that yardage, except for that one run on the first drive, the 11-yard run, has come on this drive. This is only Fort Payne's second time to have the ball. And we only have 9:52 to go in the first half. Second and goal from the 6 for Fort Payne. Going to fake the ball, going to give the ball to Darrell, and Darrell got knocked down as Fort Payne, one of their Wildcats blockers came out here, Jeremy Taylor, and he just got knocked back into Darrell, and they knocked him back in the 10-yard line.
Well, knocking Taylor into Darrell's number 20, Russell McGuire.
So it'll be a 3-yard loss. Fort Payne will be right back where they started from. The ball just inside the 10-yard line, and Fort Payne calls the timeout. Timeout on the field, Fort Payne and Johnson. Johnson leads you by a score of 6-0. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network.
They now have more new arrival copies.
Johnson leads Fort Payne by a score of 6-0. Now this will be the 19th play in this drive. And Fort Payne has controlled the football after Johnson took a 6-0 lead with 4:53 to go in the first quarter. So Fort Payne, do your math right quick. Roger Engel, 4:53 to go when they scored the touchdown. There's now 9:24 to go. So Fort Payne has kept the ball about 7 minutes almost.
You're right, Larry, around 7 minutes, and the last timeout was Johnson's.
Johnson called that timeout. So here is Fort Payne's third down. They go to the double tight end set again. And Dreyer is set up at the fullback position, though. Thomas Ross is in the tight end position on this near side. Kenny Chadwick is your quarterback. And Chadwick looks over that defense, and Chadwick's going to pitch the ball to Darrell. Darrell's looking outside, 10, 5, and Darrell's going to get into the end zone for the touchdown. So Fort Payne goes 19 plays, 80 yards. Fort Payne ties it 6-6. So you were talking during the timeout, a little toss sweep would probably be good there, Raj.
Absolutely, only instead of going way to the outside, Darrell cut it back inside and went into the end zone, and we now have a kick coming up from Jonathan Sugar to take the lead. It's 6-6.
9:16 to go in the half. Sugar will try to give the Wildcats the lead. The snap is there. The kick is high enough. The kick is good. So with 9:16 to go in the first half, Fort Payne leads Johnson by a score of 7-6. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network. How many times have you seen a team go 80 yards in 19 plays and consume about 7 minutes on the clock?
Well, it hadn't happened very often this year, Larry, and that's exactly what Fort Payne wanted coming into the game, and now they've taken the lead 7-6.
Fort Payne tried an onside kick earlier. Let's see if they do it again. They do try the little squib kick, and it's bouncing down around the 25, picked up there at the 30, and back up to the 30-yard line. It's going to be hit down and knocked down before he got to the 35. So good job of the Wildcat kicking team as that ball was run back by number 30, I think it was, to the 33-yard line.
Yeah, that was number 30, Shannon Madre on the return. Making the tackle for Fort Payne was one of the Fort Payne youngsters, 44, Josh McDaniel, someone we saw at tailback a lot last week against Gunnersville.
So we're probably going to see an awful lot of Jeremiah Bonds as he carried the ball exclusively on that last Johnson drive. Had 2 long runs, a run of 46-7 and a run of 49 for the touchdown. And Bonds is now lined up at the wing on the far side. Tailback is Michael Alexander. Going to give the ball to Alexander up the middle, and he got shot down after he got a yard or two as Fort Payne's linebacker came in there to knock him down.
Give credit for that tackle to Dusty Hill. Even though he had a blocker on him, Dusty still reached out around his bone blocker and managed to trip him up. So good job by Dustin Hill on the play.
Picked up 2 yards from the 34 to the 36. 8:51 to go in this first half. Fort Payne leads it by a score of 7-6 in a game that means a lot more to Fort Payne probably than it does to Johnson. The Jaguars come in with a record of 2-6. They got off to a great start and then started losing players and started losing games. Now here is Wally Steele up to the line of scrimmage. They send 2 men in motion. Looks like Canadian Football League out there. Throw the ball across the middle. Awful pass, but it's caught up to 50. But don't worry about this one. It's coming back. As they had, it looked like Canadian Football League out there. I think every one of their backs are in motion with the exception of the quarterback.
Well, that didn't look like Doug Flutie throwing the ball either.
No, it was kind of a wobbly duck up there that was caught up around the 50, but this one is going to come back. Ronnie, you got any important statistics for us there?
Well, that long drive, of course, by the Wildcats did eat up some yardage. 22 carries on the ground, 116 yards. Of course, most of that coming Darrell Prater, 12 carries, 74 yards. 8 first downs for the Wildcats as opposed to Johnson's 1 first down in the first half of this game.
And they got 7 first downs in that drive because they only had one first down before that. That's a pretty impressive drive. So Johnson is penalized back to the 31. It'll be 2nd down now, and I think Fort Payne would much rather see Wally Steele throwing the ball than Jeremiah Bonds carrying the ball. Bonds is lined up in the wing on the far side, and Bonds is going to carry the ball. Bonds is going to bounce outside the 30, trying to get to the sideline, and Fort Payne hemmed him in and knocked him down, but he still got it up near the 40. Boy, he's quick, isn't he?
Excellent job, Larry, as he really didn't have any blocking in front of him. He simply got all that on his own as he cut to the outside, finally knocked out of bounds by Dave Crabtree.
Picked up 9 yards on the play, but because of the penalty, it'll be a possession, 3rd and 5 for the Johnson Jaguars. But he just kind of juked outside and went down that sideline. Looked like he was going to be knocked out of bounds right around the line of scrimmage, but managed to get 9 yards out of it down this near sideline. So here is Bonds on the wing on the far side again. Wally Steele is your quarterback, and Fort Payne defense can stop him here, get the football back. He's going to have a man in motion, going to throw the ball. He's going to be complete on a great catch to the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20. He's going to go all the way for the touchdown. That was a pass that Wally Steele just jumped up and hit that number 20 that we don't have on the roster, do we?
Yes, that's Russell McGuire.
That was an outstanding 60-yard pass.
Great hands by McGuire on the catch, Larry. And once he caught the ball, he simply just distanced himself between himself and the Fort Payne defenders. He had some speed.
He really did. Fly right down the middle and just outran Fort Payne. They'll probably go for 2 here. And as they send Wally Steele back in the ball game with 7:49 to go in the first half. Didn't take Johnson long to grab the lead. So Fort Payne is going to get the ball back with a chance to maybe run some more time off this clock as the Jaguars are going to line up to go for 2. They have a single back in the backfield. Wally Steele is your quarterback, and Steele will throw it to the far sideline, and he's going to be complete for the 2-point conversion over there. Just threw it right over the head of Anthony Thompson, and the 2-point conversion is good. Johnson leads it 14-7. We'll be back to Wildcat Sports Network. 7 minutes to drive 80 yards. Took 19 plays to do it. Johnson goes the distance in 3 plays. So Fort Payne's going to get a chance to come back and at least tie it before halftime. They're probably going to have to drive it the distance. But Johnson, a big play team, and they made a couple of big plays. Here's a little squib kick that's going to be bouncing down there. It's on the ground, and it's finally going to be picked up by Alex Igo. And Alex is going to be tackled at the 22. So Fort Payne will start from deep in their own territory. But Wally Steele made that pass to Russell McGuire. He went 60 yards for the touchdown. And then they made the 2-point conversion pass from Steele to Nicholas Wells. So Fort Payne will get the football, 7:41 to go. Just enough time to get the tying touchdown, wouldn't you think? The eye set again, and they have that double tight end formation. This formation has been very, very good to Fort Payne, especially when they just ran the toss sweep out of it. See if that's what they do on this play. Going to run the fullback up the middle, and Dreyer is going to have maybe a yard, maybe a little bit there. It looked like there was a big hole that opened on this near side if he could have cut back here. But Dreyer is going to go for about 2 yards. We'll give him.
That was big number 64, Troy Ragland, 256 for a senior, making the tackle on Dreyer.
Mark him at the 24. It'll be second down for the Wildcats, and 8 to go with 7:13 to go in the first half. Johnson leads Fort Payne by a score of 14-7. Thomas Ross to the near side, and Justin Payne to the far side. Single back in the backfield, double tight end. Somebody's going to run that trap play. Fake it. Kenny Chadwick has it, and Chadwick's going to be tackled back at the 20-yard line.
Once again, Larry, I think he was looking for Thomas Ross down the near side. Thomas around the 40 had his guy beat, but Kenny, by the time he got free, Kenny had no time to throw the ball, and a loss on the play.
Lost 4 yards on the play, brings up a very big third down possession now. You really don't need to give this ball right back to Johnson with 6:35 to go in the half, but you're going to do it unless you can pick up about 13 yards for a first down. Fort Payne sends Thomas Ross to the far near side. Alex Igo to the far side. They line Darrell Prater up, and they're going to roll straight back to pass, trying to set the screen to the near side of Thomas Ross. And Thomas is looking for blocks, and not going to get a lot of blocking, but he got it to the 25. If that was a screen play, there wasn't a whole lot of blocking out here. Thomas just kind of started out here by himself and had to work his way back into the middle. Picked up about 5-6 yards on the play, but there wasn't, if that was supposed to be a screen, there wasn't a lot of blocking there.
I'm not so sure, Larry, it wasn't supposed to stand a little more toward this sideline, but nevertheless, Russell McGuire again, he makes the tackle after scoring the touchdown earlier.
See a 7-yard gain. Fort Payne still a long way from that first down marker, so they'll have to kick it away, 4th and 6. And Chadwick got a good snap. Got away a kick, and he got away a pretty good kick. It's going to bounce at the 40-yard line. Got a Wildcat bounce across the 40, down to the 35-yard line, where it will be blown dead at the 35-yard line with 5:28 to go. Right on the 35. The Fort Payne, first time they got it, they didn't do anything with it. Second time, they drove down the field. Third time, didn't do anything. Now they got to stop Johnson. Fort Payne trails at 14-7 with 5:28 to go in the first half in a game that has moved right along.
Well, that speed was really evident on that last touchdown that went to McGuire.
Been evident on both their drives, as the first time they scored the touchdown, they had the 26-yard run and then the 46-yard touchdown run by Jeremiah Bonds. And now they go to the shotgun formation with Wally Steele lined up in the shotgun formation. And here's a flag and a delay of game penalty against Johnson. So I think the back judge threw that flag. It's probably going to be a delay, and it will in fact be a delay of game. 5-yard step off and put it back to the 30. So Johnson, big play team. And like we said, we'd rather see Wally Steele throw the ball, but really that touchdown pass wasn't all that good, was it? Looked like that Russell McGuire just would have made a great catch. Now what are they going to do? They just now have broke the huddle, and they go to the same formation with Wally Steele Jr., the quarterback. And he has back there, going to roll straight back to pass. Maybe try to set the screen, and he set the screen, and Fort Payne is in trouble. 35, 40, 45 down that far sideline, and 50. They jitterbugged it and got all the way to the Wildcat 43-yard line. They ran that play to Jeremiah Bonds, and that's probably what Fort Payne was trying to do. But they had Fort Payne suckered in and ran it all the way down to the Wildcat 46-yard line, they say.
And Wallace, Will Stevens finally made the tackle here on this penalty play.
Got a clip against Johnson.
So let's check the flag and check the penalty. Its flag is laying right at the 45, so that would bring it all the way back to the Johnson 30, which would make it a 10-yard pass completion. Well, I guess you give him a 45-yard pass, don't you? Went from the 30 to the Wildcat 45. 25-yard pass completion, a 15-yard penalty. And it'll be third down. To get through sorting all this out, it'll be a second down and 5. At the 39-yard line. Well, I guess Fort Payne came out of that in pretty good shape.
But the play was set up excellently by Johnson.
Yeah, it'll be first down. First down and 6 for Johnson. And now Steele will move in under the center position, gave it to this near side, and he's going to be Johnson with the basket with the ball. Johnson will break another tackle, and finally is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. But Fort Payne had a chance to get him back about 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but he just ran by that Wildcat defender, and finally Jeremiah Bonds was tackled for about a 2-yard loss.
That was Zane Hardinger who had the chance to bring him down further back, Larry. Couldn't hold on, and he'll lose still, 2 yards on the play.
Second down and 7 with 4:29 to go in the half. Fort Payne can stop him a couple more plays here and get the football back. Should get it in pretty good field position. But Johnson, as we've already seen, is an explosive team. And the Jaguars will come to the line of scrimmage and going to fake it, going to run it inside reverse, and got by one tackler, got to the 40, got to the 41. It'll be third down and about 3. Will Stevens slowed him down but couldn't make the tackle, but then somebody came up and closed him down after he'd got to the 41-yard line, a 3-yard gain.
That was Clay Dobbs along with Jonathan Sugart, who came in to finally bring him down. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3 for Johnson with 3:50 and counting remaining here in the second quarter.
It's a big play. Fort Payne, big play in the game. Fort Payne needs to stop him here, and I would think that they're going to get the ball to Jeremiah Bonds. So Bonds is lined up in the wing. Where is Bonds? Don't know. He's on the wing on the far side, I think. Fort Payne looks like they're going to bring a linebacker, going to roll back the pass, going to throw it out here. It's going to be complete for the first down, and it's going to be, he didn't get the first down. He had the first down, and
he
then
went backwards.
He went backwards and didn't get the first down. It'll be 4th down in a yard. So the pass was complete for about a 2-yard gain.
Oh, he almost has it, Larry. I would be surprised if they don't measure.
They're going to measure. It's going to be close, but he had it well beyond that 45 and then reversed and is tackled right at the 45, so they're going to measure for the first down. You think he has it? You missed the last one.
Really, I'm blocked here by those yellow helmets, so I really can't see.
I don't think he got it. He had to get to the 45, and they've got it marked just a little short of the 45, but you would think they'd probably go for it on 4th down anyway if they didn't get it, and they didn't. Looks like about 4 inches from one side of that line to the other side of the line. So about 4 inches to go for the first down, and the chain guy on this near side looks over to the Johnson side and says, come on, guys, go for it. So I think they probably are going to go for it. The Johnson Jag majorettes are lining up down in front of us, ready to go on the field.
Looks like they might have forgotten their batons tonight.
Looks like they're cold, too.
And it looks like they're mad about it, too.
Fort Payne, Johnson has got to get from one side of that line to the other side of the line. They've got to get 4 inches for the first down here. It's a 4th down play. If Fort Payne could stop them here, they'd have the ball in great field position with a chance to get that first down. The referees are about ready to mark the ball ready for play. Wally Steele now asked for a timeout. Well, I think he did. Yeah, now he calls timeout. Timeout on the field with 3:05 to go in the first half. The score is Johnson 14, Fort Payne 7. We'll be back. Wildcat Sports Network. Mills called his last timeout. Well, he didn't. He called his second timeout. So it's 4th down and 4 inches. You would think that he was probably just going to pound it right at the Wildcats. So let's see what they come up with. They only need to get from one side of that line to the other side. Wally Steele is your quarterback, and they're trying to draw Fort Payne off sides, and Fort Payne is not going to move. And maybe they get a delay here. That'd be sweet, wouldn't it? And Steele is still under there, and they're going to, Fort Payne's not going to move. And what are they trying to do? They got a penalty. You don't understand that, do you?
Not really, when you only needed about 3 inches.
Now they're going to kick it.
Man, I don't understand that. They needed to, and surely this team thinks they could get 4 inches, but they were trying to draw Fort Payne offside. The Wildcats never flinched, and Johnson got a penalty. Now, what are they going to do? They're
going to kick.
Yeah, I hope they kick. I don't understand that. They don't have a punter back there. Now they get him back there. Now they get Wally Steele back there. Fort Payne still doesn't believe they're going to kick. The Wildcats have 9 men on the line of scrimmage. And here's a snap to Steele. Steele is going to kick the ball. Not a real good kick. Fort Payne, if they can handle the ball, is going to have it in great shape. And Chadwick has it at the 33. A diving catch there by Kenny Chadwick. Fort Payne has plenty of opportunity. Now they have all 3 of their timeouts to get down the field and get the touchdown.
Don't understand that move by the Johnson Jaguar coaches, only needing 3 to 4 inches for a first down. Try to draw Fort Payne off, and when they can't do it, take a 5-yard penalty and punt, and gives the Wildcats the ball with 2:55 remaining in the second quarter. 14-7 the score. Johnson leads, but Fort Payne with their timeouts left have an opportunity to tie this game up right before the half.
They only gained 20 yards by the punt. And across the way, the Johnson band is warming up. So here is Fort Payne with a man in motion back to the near side. Unbalanced line to this near side. Chadwick is your quarterback, and Chadwick's going to run his reverse. He has a man wide open down here. If he can get it away, he throws it, and now the ball is up in the air, and the ball is going to be knocked away. And Thomas Ross got away with a pass interference, offensive pass interference. And the Johnson coaching staff can't believe that. As Russell McGuire was ready to catch the ball, and Thomas did a great job of just going up his back, knocked him down to keep him from catching the ball.
Well, Thomas, it was open by about 5 or 6 yards. I think that was number 10 for Fort Payne, Justin Payne, who threw the ball just a little bit late, or it had been a touchdown for Fort Payne, as you said. The officials just missed that one as the Cobra reached up and bit the defensive player.
I think Tate had a lot of pressure, had to wait till the pressure got by him. Now going to run the option play to the far side, pitches the ball to Darrell. Darrell is going to be tackled after about a 3-yard gain with 2:40 to go in the half. Fort Payne will be 3rd down now and about 8 to go. I think they've got Johnson set up for that pass from Darrell Prater we haven't seen this year.
Well, we're lucky they didn't get a penalty there, as one of our Fort Payne players might have had a little illegal block in the back on that one.
Just a 2-yard gain for Darrell. 2:20 to go. Clock is running. Here's a 3rd down possession play. The Wildcats have got to get to the 44 for the first down. They come out with that double tight end set. They put a man in a slot on the far side, run from the I formation. And they're going to run the reverse to the near side, fake the reverse. Now he's going to throw the ball to Heath Owen down this near sideline. Heath is going to be incomplete. Down around the 30, Heath couldn't drag it in, and that's a good pass there by Kenny Chadwick. Threw the ball about 60 yards, but the pass went incomplete. And now Fort Payne is not what Fort Payne wanted to do. Came out and threw 2 incomplete passes and don't run a whole lot of time off the clock. Now they got to kick it away. See if they do, in fact, kick it. Chadwick is in deep punt formation to kick it from the 25. I would think they would probably go ahead and kick it away here. Don't want to give the ball to Johnson at your own 35 with 1:59 to go. So Kenny Chadwick is in deep punt formation. And Johnson may have jumped out. He didn't jump offside. Kick it away. Got a good kick, wobbly kick. That's going to be fair caught at the 33-yard line. So Johnson will have the football with 1:50 to go in this first half, with Johnson leading by a score of 14-7. And the ball will be at the 34. But Johnson can certainly score from here in quick order. They've already shown that they can do that. I would think we're going to have the ball into Jeremiah Bond's hands on this drive.
Tell you what, Larry, number 20, that Russell McGuire, has shown me a lot so far tonight. He's done a little bit of everything, from tackling to catching passes to running the ball.
Yep, and so here is Steele, the quarterback, and Steele is going to throw this out here to the near side. He wants to throw the ball, and he throws it downfield. It's going to be complete to the 45, complete to the 50, complete to the 45-yard line. He got knocked out of bounds there by Darrell Prater. Ball popped loose, but a big play for the Johnson team there, and Darrell Prater came up and knocked him out of bounds. Little razzle-dazzle from this Johnson team.
And who was it that went to, Larry?
He went to your man.
Number 20, that was Russell McGuire.
And went from the 34 to the Wildcat 43-yard line. 23-yard gain. Johnson has it with 1:39 to go in the half now. So they're not afraid to run some razzle-dazzle stuff. They threw the lateral over here to Nicholas Wells, who whipped it downfield. And now here is, they have that big tailback back there, going to give it to him. And Jeremiah's going to be at the 40-yard line, and he's tackled down, tackled inbounds. That's a good play by the Wildcats to hold him inbounds there. Jeremiah Bond went to the 40-yard line, picked up 3 on the play.
Brant Middlebrooks along with Clay Dobbs and number 1 Darrell Prater in on the tackle. And the Wildcats a little fire and venom that time.
1:17 to go in the half. Johnson only has 1 timeout left. Clock is moving. The Jaguars lead it by a score of 14-7. Now they shift Jeremiah Bond to this near side. Wally Steele is your quarterback, and Steele's going to throw the ball across the middle. He has it incomplete. That was a good play there by Dobbs, and also Darrell Prater came up there to hit him, but the ball was a little bit behind the intended receiver and incomplete. 1:01 to go in the half, and Johnson will be 3rd down and 8. But Fort Payne, I think, would be happy to get out of here trailing 14-7. Wildcats had that one long drive, and then they haven't had it 2 other times, haven't done any 3 other times, didn't do anything with it. So here's a 3rd down play for the Jaguars, and now who calls timeout? The officials call timeout. Who are they going to send to the sideline? I think Darrell Prater lost his mouthpiece, and now he's going to be replaced by David Crabtree, as he had to get a mouthpiece, I think. So he's looking for volunteers over there to give him a mouthpiece. 3rd down, and the clock is running. We're under a minute. Well, the clock didn't. Now the clock finally started. And now back to pass. Because those that long down that far side has a man wide open, and he's going to be complete. And broke 2 tackles and got in for the touchdown. Well, they threw the ball right over Anthony Thompson's head, and then Kenny Chadwick came up there, and he just ran right between Kenny Chadwick and Anthony Thompson. Scored the touchdown with 53 seconds to go in the half. That's a big touchdown. Who caught that ball?
I don't know, Larry. Was it Bonds? I think it was number 3, Bonds, came out of the backfield to make the catch.
So they'll try to kick up the extra point now. And that makes it, the kick is up, and this time the kick is no good. But with 53 seconds to go in the half, Johnson now leads it by a score of 20-7. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network. Only took 4 plays to go 57 yards and grab the 20-7 lead against Fort Payne. And Fort Payne missed a tackle over there on about the 15-yard line that would have kept Jeremiah Bonds from getting into the end zone. And now Fort Payne is going to have to battle from 2 touchdowns behind against this fine Johnson team. 53 seconds to go in the half. And he kicks it away to the far side, and backtracking is going to be David Crabtree, and took it on the 3-yard line, back up the middle of the 15, 10, and there goes, is that a flag or a shoe that came flying in the air? As Crabtree got it up to the 23.
That was Anthony Thompson on the return.
Anthony Thompson, David Crabtree both went for it, so Anthony wound up with it, got it to the 23-yard line.
And that was a shoe that was in the air.
So Fort Payne will be a long way away from the goal with 44 seconds to go. And see what Fort Payne decides to do here. Probably want to get the ball in the hands of Darrell Prater somehow. No, Darrell's only caught 1 pass this year, and that was in the first game of the year. They fling the football out. Fort Payne goes with double tight ends. And Darrell is your tailback. Jonathan Dreyer is your fullback. Kenny Chadwick is the quarterback underneath, and Johnson's in that prevent defense. They give it to Darrell Prater, and Darrell's going to squirt outside. Got about 9 yards out of it. Got up to the 30-yard line. So Fort Payne will burn a timeout here. No sign of it yet.
He's close to the first down.
Still haven't called timeout. I guess we're not going to call a timeout. We have all 3 of our timeouts left. To Darrell. Now we rush up to the line of scrimmage, but we're down to 20 seconds to go, and Fort Payne jumps offside. That play, I don't know why we didn't call a timeout there. Would you explain to me why we didn't call a timeout? We had 3 timeouts left.
Ronnie, he's talking to you.
I don't know, Larry.
And then Fort Payne busted the play and jumped offside. It'll be a 5-yard step off against the Wildcats. 16 seconds now is all that's left. So Fort Payne wasted about 10 seconds. Now they've, and also 5 yards on the play. So they've stepped it back to the 26. Now the clock is running again. Clock is down to 15, and we're going to roll back to pass. And Kenny is in big trouble. Throws it. It is incomplete. Threw it into double coverage. Tried to get it to Heath Owen with 8 seconds to go. And that play didn't work either. Now Fort Payne still has all 3 of their timeouts left, but there's 8 seconds to go now.
Up at the 30-yard line, number 6, Marco Pruitt, with an opportunity to make the interception. Cannot pick it off the ground, and this probably will be the last play for Fort Payne here in the first half as they trail 20-7.
Kenny was rolling to the near side and had to throw back across his body, and I thought he was going to be tackled from behind before he had a chance to get it off. Johnson has safety men back about 30 yards now with only 9 seconds to go. And Kenny's going to run his draw to Darrell Prater. And Darrell is going to not get his first down, got to the 30-yard line, and that's going to be the last play of the half. So the first half will come to an end with Johnson leading Fort Payne by a score of 20-7. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network. Very entertaining halftime there by the Wildcat Marching Band and the Johnson High School Marching Band. Ronnie, Fort Payne trails at 20-7. Statistics certainly don't seem to favor the Jaguars.
No, they don't. Of course, the Jaguar team, a big play team, getting chunks of their yardage in just 1 or 2 plays. But let's break down the stats first. Hot shot running back for the Jaguars, Jeremiah Bond, 7 carries, just 7 carries, but he has 86 yards and 1 touchdown. Total yards on the ground for J.O. Johnson, 98. Through the air is where the Jaguars have hurt the Wildcats. They have 153 yards in the air, so the total offense for the J.O. Johnson team at 251. On the other side of the ball for the Wildcats, leading carrier, the leading ground gainer, Darrell Prater, back after sitting out 1 game with an injury. 15 carries for Prater, 91 yards and 1 touchdown. Kenny Chadwick carrying the ball 6 times for 22 yards, 131 total yards on the ground, just 6 yards through the air. Kenny Chadwick just 1 of 4. Total offense for the Wildcats 137, and your halftime score, as Larry said, 20-7 in favor of the Jaguars from J.O. Johnson.
Big plays have hurt the big plays have hurt the Wildcats as they scored with 4:53 to go, did Johnson. 5 plays went 80 yards as Jeremiah Bonds ran 46 yards for the touchdown. The play was set up by a 26-yard run by Johnson. The point after by Trey Ragland was no good, and Johnson led it 6-0. Fort Payne came right back with probably one of their most impressive drives of the year. The Wildcats took 19 plays and 7 minutes off the clock as they drove 80 yards. Darrell Prater scored from the 9-yard line. The point after by Jonathan Sugar with 9:16 to go in the first half gave the Wildcats a 7-6 lead. And then, with 7:49 to go, Johnson came right back as Wally Steele completed a pass to Russell McGuire for 60 yards and a touchdown. The 2-point conversion from Steele to Nicholas Wells gave Johnson a 14-7 lead, and it looked like that's the way it was going to remain until halftime. But Johnson struck again with just 53 seconds to go in the half as they again completed a long pass, a 40-yarder this time, from to Jeremy Bonds from Wally Steele. The point after was no good, and the Johnson Jaguars at halftime lead the Wildcats by a score of 20-7. But Fort Payne certainly has the capability of coming back on this team. Wildcats will get the football off the second half kickoff. Need to drive it right down the field and get some points out of it, and then turn it over to the defense to see if they can get it back. But we're still a couple of minutes away from the kickoff second half kickoff, so let's take a break as we get ready for the kickoff on the Wildcat Sports Network with a score at halftime. Johnson 20, Fort Payne 7.
The home-owned bank and proud of it. You should be, too. It gives them the freedom to be the kind of bank you need. All banking decisions are acted on right in the bank without consulting someone from out of
town. During the break, and you seem to think that was the most impressive drive of the year.
I certainly think so, Larry. As those Johnson cheerleaders went by right in front of us, the most impressive drive I've seen this season.
Roger was really impressed with those Johnson High majorettes, I think they are. But the Jaguar band still marching into the end zone to our left, and they're having a great time getting into their seats down there. We should have filmed that halftime show for you folks back in Fort Payne who didn't get a chance to see it. The Wildcat marching band, as usual, putting on a great display, and the Johnson band also put on a good show. And we're ready to get this second half underway. Fort Payne will have Darrell Prater standing back around his own 5-yard line. He gets his kick, and now here we go. The kick is sailing to Anthony Thompson. It is deep at the 5. Anthony back up the middle of 10, 15, straight up the middle. Found the hole, got to 20. He has one man to beat it to 40, 45. He's going to be tackled. If Anthony could have cut it to the outside, he hit one of those big old linemen down there. He was going full speed. If he could have, Roger, just cut it off to the outside, looked like he may have been angled down this near sideline, but Fort Payne will take it at the 45.
Well, he tried his best to juke number 64, Troy Ragland. Ragland stayed with him and brought him down. But anyway, great field position. Fort Payne starts from their own 45.
Ragland 6'4", 255 pounds, the senior. Here's Fort Payne with a double tight end set. I think they're going to run right at this Johnson team. Is going to pitch the ball to Darrell. Darrell's looking for a block outside, cuts it back in, and got about 5 yards out of it. As he got across midfield, it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Wildcats as they lined up in the double tight end formation and ran right at Johnson, picked up 5 yards. So Fort Payne will be at midfield as the second half gets underway. The Wildcats trail by 2 touchdowns. So here's Fort Payne again to the line of scrimmage. They send Thomas Ross to the far side. They line Alex Igo up on the slot on this near side. The I set again. Looks like we're unbalanced this near side. Going to give the ball to Jonathan Dreyer, and Dreyer is going to pound it for a first down, I think. He may be a half a yard short, and he is going to be a half a yard short at the Johnson 46, but a big 4-yard gain there for Jonathan Dreyer.
It looks like the Wildcats this time are determined to come out in this second half and run it up the middle. And as you said, Dreyer will be about a football length shy of the first down. So it'll be 3rd and short.
Talking to some of the Wildcat coaches at halftime, they think that's what we can do, is run right at this Johnson team and maybe try to negate some of that Johnson speed. And this will be Dreyer, and Dreyer will pitch the ball to Darrell, and Darrell's trying to get outside, and he didn't get his first down, I don't think. Depends on the spot. But Johnson is really quick on those wings, and depends on the spot. It will be either 3rd down and a foot, and they're going to measure it as the ball is right at the 45. They're won't have to take the chains very far over there, Roger. You're 0 for 2 tonight, so you want to guess at this one?
It looks to me to be a little bit short.
Well, let's see if you're right. This will be 1 for 3 for you for the night if you get this one right. And once again, you missed it. So you're perfect for the night.
I told you this is plexiglass.
That's what it is. So Fort Payne will have a first down with the ball placed squarely on the Johnson 45 with 10:29 to go in the 3rd quarter. Johnson leads it by a score of 20-6. Fort Payne sends Thomas Ross to the far side to put Alex Igo in the slot on the far side. Line up in the I set. Now Igo comes back in motion back to the near side of the field. Counter play up the middle, trap play, and Darrell Prater in there at fullback got 5 yards out of it. He got hit right along the line of scrimmage and just barreled his way for 4 yards to the 41-yard line of Johnson. Outstanding power run there by Darrell Prater.
One thing that has kind of stood out so far, Larry, these are conservative officials when it comes to where they mark the ball. Certainly, they're not going to give you a bit more than you got. They're going to mark it back, if anything.
So Anthony Thompson is in there at the tailback position, and Anthony Thompson's going to get the football. That is, Anthony got across the 40 and maybe got a yard out of it. It'll be 3rd down and 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats. With 9:37 to go in this 3rd quarter, the Cats trail it by a couple of touchdowns.
The play before, Larry, with Prater carrying, that was his 18th carry. 102 yards for Darrell. So barring any negative yardage, it'll pile up the second half of this game. Darrell once again having a 100-yard gain.
Johnson has a player injured on the field. While they work with him, we'll take a break with the score. Johnson 20, Fort Payne 7. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network. Good player, and he looks a little wobbly there as they bring him off the field, and that is Daniel Hogan, a 6'2", 180-pound senior, and he's going to be a little wobbly as they get him off the field. Fort Payne will be 3rd down and 5. They've had a chance to talk about it, set up this play on the sideline, and here is Fort Payne to the line of scrimmage. They've got to get to the 35-yard line for the first down, but I would think that we're in 4-down territory, trailing by a couple of touchdowns. And Kenny Chadwick looks over this Johnson defense. He's going to run the option play to the near side, ran the trap play back into the middle, and Darrell Prater's going to be a yard short. They ran the quick trap to the far side, and Darrell is going to be a yard short of the first down as he picked up 4 yards on the right side of the Wildcat defense.
Excuse me, Larry. He had Justin Payne out blocking for him. You said they're trying to go right at the middle of the Johnson defense, so certainly they'll go for it on 4th and 1, just outside the 35.
They've got to get right to the 35 for the first down. They need a yard. So here is Fort Payne with Jonathan Dreyer in there at the fullback position, and they run to the double tight end set. Kenny Chadwick is your quarterback, and he may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Kenny Chadwick with a long count, and Kenny Chadwick with a long count, maybe trying to draw Johnson offside. And now Kenny's going to pitch the ball to Darrell, and I think they got a delay of game penalty, and that saved Fort Payne because it was a bad pitch behind Darrell, but that saved the Wildcats. They had 4th and a yard. Now they've made a mistake, and it's going to be 4th and 6. That will change the play calling considerably for Fort Payne. Well, Fort Payne just can't seem to get over the hump, Raj. They had fourth down and a yard. Now Fort Payne's got to burn a timeout. As Fort Payne calls timeout on the field to talk about it, and now Coach Elmore wants to talk to the officials. What's the call? What's happened here? Fort Payne calls timeout on the field. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network.
See a movie at night or in the afternoon or even in the morning.
Jimmy Stadium, Coach Elmore called this timeout. Spent the entire timeout talking with the officials. Don't know what that was about, Raj. Didn't see Johnson move or anything.
I don't know what it was about either, Larry. Of course, we were trying to draw them offsides. We didn't fall for it. Took a delay of game penalty, and which turned into a break, I think, as Chadwick's pitch to Prater went awry.
Maybe he didn't think it was should have been a delay of game penalty, as he was probably watching the clock. And here is Fort Payne now, 4th down and 6. They've got to get it to the 35 for the first down. They have a single back in the backfield behind Kenny Chadwick, and that is Darrell Prater. Going to fake the ball to Darrell, run pass option to the near side, and Kenny Chadwick is going to be in trouble, and he's not going to get the first down. Well, rolled out to this near side, and Kenny was running for his life and really couldn't throw the ball rolling to this near side. Johnson will take over.
He had Thomas Ross streaking down the near side, but he's being covered very closely by number 7 for Johnson, and I don't have a name for number 7.
Well, that penalty killed the Wildcats. If you run that same play a little while ago, you're going to get the first down. Now Johnson's going to take over, leading by 2 touchdowns at the 37-yard line. So here is Johnson to the line of scrimmage, and Johnson has that same backfield. It's been so successful for them. Now they put Jeremiah Bonds back there at the tailback position, and Bonds is going to get it, and Bonds is going to be hit down. Good job there by Dustin Hill, who came up there to knock him down as he got to the line of scrimmage, but Steele drove in there for a yard.
Yeah, he was initially hit by number 65, was it? No, it was
62, I think.
Yes,
Dustin
correct.
Hill.
Dustin Hill. Finishing him off was Jonathan Dreyer.
Picked up a yard on the play, we'll say, 2 yards to the 39. So it's 2nd down, and if they drive down the field and score a touchdown here, Fort Payne is going to be in big trouble. The Jaguars, every time they put Bonds back there in that tailback position, he's carrying the football. Now Bonds is lined up on the wing on the far side, and they put Bonds back there again, and let's see if he gets the football again. And they're going to pitch the ball to Bonds. Bonds is going to try to sweep it to the outside. Broke a tackle, got to the 45-yard line, and got about 8 yards. The Wildcat coaches screamed for a hold, but it didn't come. And it's going to be 3rd down, and where they mark him out of bounds. Now that's the official on this side. Never actually marked the ball out of bounds. He went chasing the ball all the way across midfield and then came back and picked up a spot here. So there's no way they know where he went out of bounds, but it's going to be 3rd down and a yard. But that official on this near side never marked the ball out of bounds. He went running down the field chasing the ball, and it'll be 3rd down and a yard for Johnson.
And Zane Hardinger was definitely held on the play. They almost tore his shirt off.
So it'll be at the 42-yard line. Here's a third down in the yard. Johnson's going to run the fullback. Got his first down to the midfield. So it'll be a first down for Johnson. The clock now says 7:24 to go. They ran number 22 that time at the heart of the Wildcat line, and he picked up a first down at midfield. Ball squarely at midfield. So Fort Payne Johnson has not turned the ball over tonight. They turned it over 6 times against North Jackson, turned it over 6 times against Hazel Green. They have not been nearly as generous to Fort Payne tonight. As they send wideouts left and right, Wally Steele is your quarterback. Gave it up in the middle of that big fullback, and he got 5 yards. Ran right at Fort Payne and picked up 5 yards, and that is your main man there, number 22.
I don't have number 22.
We don't have.
No, number 20, Russell McGuire, is the one I talked about during the first half. And so far during this second half, they haven't gone to him. And officials will call a timeout on themselves. We have an injured player, and that is the number 22.
Number 22 is injured. So he's coming off the field, and it looks like he has an injured ankle there. But they get him off the field, and maybe a knee or something. The way they're carrying him off, doesn't look like he's going to be back tonight. But they may move Jeremiah Bonds back there. And it'll be 2nd and 5 for Johnson with the ball at the Wildcat 45. Fort Payne had the ball down at the Johnson 31. They had 4th down and a yard to go. The Wildcats were called for delay of game, and then on the 4th down play, tried to run that roll out to this near side, and Kenny Chadwick kept it. He only picked up a couple of yards and turned it over to Johnson, and Johnson has moved from their own 37 to the Wildcat 45 now, 2nd down and 5. And they have number 26 in there at fullback position again. Jeremiah Bonds is lined up on the far side, and they're going to give the ball to Bonds, and Bonds is going to have 5 yards. He's going to have 8 yards, and he's going to be knocked down after he got the first down at the 38-yard line. They don't run a lot of fancy stuff. They line Bonds up on that wing-back position on the far side. Bonds actually took 2 steps backwards and then ran this little inside trap and ran it from the 45 down to the Wildcat 42. So nothing fancy, but they're running right at Fort Payne and winning the battle so far.
Bonds is very quick, Larry.
38 is where they got the ball marked. So that would be a 7-yard gain for Jeremiah Bonds. He's getting close to 150 by now, I guess.
100 yards, 10 carries, 100 yards.
Pretty good, then. He had most of that on a couple of carries. The Fort Payne, for the most part, has held Jeremiah Bonds intact. Bonds is in the backfield, though, and every time he's been back there, he's carried the ball. He's lined up at that tailback position, and now delay a game penalty as they look confused and get a flag for delay a game. It'll be a step off for back across the 40, about the 43-yard line, so a 5-yard step off against Johnson will make it 2nd down and 13 or 14. Penalties have not hurt Johnson tonight nearly as much as they have Fort Payne. They've overcome their penalties. Fort Payne has not been able to overcome theirs.
At least 2 times penalties have been drive killers for the Fort Payne Wildcats.
5:54 is all that's left in this 3rd quarter. The Wildcats trail it 20-6. And Wally Steele is your quarterback. They have Bonds on that far side, and Bonds is going to come in motion. Going to throw the ball long down this far side, threw it out of bounds, incomplete. That may have been Wally Steele's worst pass of the night, as he just threw that ball 10 yards out of bounds. It'll be a 3rd down and 12 possession play for the Johnson Jaguars.
Well, he was trying to hit number 1, Nicholas Wells, on the near side, and he was being covered by the Wildcats, number 1, Darrell Prater. So a good job, really, by the quarterback throwing it away.
Is it 3rd down or is it 2nd down? 2nd down, I guess. I thought it was 3rd down, but it is 2nd down, as they've got 14 yards to go for the 1st down. They send a wide out to both sides of the field, and they line up Bonds at that tailback position. And every time he's been there tonight, he's carried the football. And he's going to carry the football again on a trap play, and he got a hole, and he got to the 30. He may go all the way. Got down to the 27-yard line, picked up his 1st down. And they're not deceiving Fort Payne, but Fort Payne just can't stop him, as Bonds carried it from the 43 down to the 20, what are they going to mark him? 27, 16-yard gain for Bonds.
And Bonds would have scored if he'd had a tearaway jersey. The only thing that stopped him was Darrell Prater grabbing the back of his jersey.
Touchdown here, and it's going to be a long night for the Wildcats, I'm afraid. They trail it 20-6 with 5:33 to go in the 3rd quarter. and this third quarter has flown by. Fort Payne had a great chance to get right back in the game and just couldn't do it. So here is Bonds back in there at their running back position again. Wally Steele will take the ball, turn around, and give it to Bonds. Bonds at the 30. Bonds cuts it inside the 25, and it's going to be tackled there by a couple of Wildcat defenders. Good job of stopping him right around the line of scrimmage, but he launched forward for a couple of yards.
Grant Middlebrooks along with Jonathan Dreyer on the tackle.
They mark it squarely on the 25. It'll be a 2-yard gain for Bonds. 4:54 to go in the game in the third quarter. And Fort Payne sends in that freshman, Roger, number 66, who played so well last week.
That 66 is Maurice Parham.
And he replaces Clay Dobbs. So here is Johnson, second down and 8. And Bonds is back in that fullback position again. He's the only back in the backfield. They have wideouts left and right. Wally Steele is your quarterback. And Wally Steele will roll straight back to pass. He throws complete, and it's going to be caught down around the 5-yard line. That was an outstanding pass as he just hit Nicholas Wells on the cut-in, and Wells was wide open and got it all the way down to the Wildcat 6.
You know, the receiver on that type play does not have to get very much of a lead on the defensive back to make the catch, and the quarterback led him just enough, and he caught the ball, and it'll be first and goal from the 6-yard line, and Fort Payne appears to be in trouble.
19-yard pass completion, and there's only 4:12 to go in this third quarter. The Jaguars have it at the Wildcat 6. First and goal to go. And they have Bonds in there at the running back position. Wally Steele will now go give the ball to Bonds. Bonds is going to be at the 5. It got hit down there. Good job by the Wildcat defense. The ball is loose, but they're going to say he was down. And I don't see how he could have possibly been down because it looked like he was still standing up. The ball just popped loose, but they're going to give it back to Johnson at the 6.
Good look that time for Fort Payne. Rory Jones coming in to knock the runner down.
Lost a yard on the play. They're going to mark it back to the 7. But that might have been the break Fort Payne was looking for, as Bonds looked like he had coughed it up. But they ruled him down right around the line of scrimmage, and it'll be second down and goal for the Jaguars. Look at the clock. 3:25 to go, and there's going to be under 3 minutes to go when they get through running this play. Troy Ragland, the big center, who is 6'4", 255 pounds, leads his team up to the line of scrimmage. Bonds is in that backfield again. And now there's a delay of game penalty on Jack Johnson again. Has that been the only penalty the officials have called tonight, a delay of game? They've called it several times, and now that'll step the Jaguars back to the 12-yard line.
I think they have consistently been going over the time allotted on these calls, and the officials have not been calling it against them. Now they have twice here in the last drive. I heard the coaches from Fort Payne next door timing it a moment ago, and they're getting close every time to going over the limit.
So it's back at the 12 with 3:09 to go in the third quarter. Johnson leads it 20-6 and is threatening again. They send wideouts left and right. Steele may throw the ball again. He's been extremely successful, and he may throw the ball to the left side. He rolls back to the pass, throws it to the left side, and there's going to be a penalty flag on Anthony Thompson over there. Anthony just knocked Terry Miller down, and maybe a good thing he did, or it might have been a touchdown over there, but Anthony just knocked Miller down, and it'll be a step off half the distance against the Wildcats, but more importantly, will be a first down for Johnson. It'll be a 6-yard penalty. We'll get it back down to the 6-yard line, but it'll give Johnson a first down. I think that's automatic first down. It used to be. I wonder if it still is. They haven't changed it across the way. Now they step it off down to the 6, and it is first down. Well, Anthony's had a hard time over there on that side, and they have taken him out now. And Darrell Prater's moved over to that side, and Fort Payne has brought Kenny Chadwick in along the defensive front, along with the defensive secondary, along with Justin Garmany. But here is Johnson. They go to a wishbone set on this particular play. Bonds is lined up on the far side, and they're going to give it to Bonds, who's going to sweep this side, and Bonds is going to be into the end zone. No, down to the 1-yard line, they said. It's less than a yard away. But Bonds almost got into the end zone, but they're going to mark him on the 1.
Well, he was tackled by Dreyer along with Will Stevens, but you said, Larry, to be on the 1-yard line.
Picked up 5 yards on that play. This will be the 14th play in the drive for Johnson. And there's only 2:30 to go. Fort Payne's going to get the football back, probably trailing by 3 touchdowns. They're going to have to catch up, basically, in the fourth quarter. Going to give it to Bonds again, and Bonds is going to walk into the end zone. So Bonds scored from the 1. 14 plays, and Johnson leads it 26-7. Big drive by the Jaguars.
Absolutely, the Wildcats was looking for him to go up the middle and had their defense stacked for that, and he slanted to the outside, and basically no one laid a hand on him.
Bonds, they go 63 yards in 14 plays. Bonds scored, and with 2:17 to go in the third quarter, Fort Payne is in big trouble now. Johnson will go for the 2-point conversion again. As Steele is your quarterback, he has thrown it out to the left side, and he's going to throw it to the right side this time. Throws it into the end zone, and they catch it again. If the 2-point conversion is good this time, threw it over Kenny Chadwick's head now, and its score is now 27-6 in favor of Johnson. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network. Son goes 63 yards in 14 plays. Bonds scoring from the 1-yard line. The 2-point pass was good to Terry Miller. Johnson leads it 28-7 as Fort Payne will get the football back. And now the Wildcats trail by 3 touchdowns. So they kick it away and kick it to the near side. Will be called over here to the far side. That's Alex Igo, 20, and he's up to the 25, and it's going to be tackled at about the 27-yard line. So the idea that Fort Payne had of lining up in the 2 tight ends and running right at Johnson may be out the window now when he trailed by 3 touchdowns, Roger.
I don't know, Larry. I don't know how much we'll change our philosophy here with the situation being like it is. Ronnie, what do you think?
Mark him at the 26.
I doubt it will change much.
So here is Fort Payne. They go to the double tight end formation, and they have Anthony Thompson in at tailback, and Darrell Prater is your fullback. With 2:08 to go in the third quarter, Fort Payne trails it by 3 touchdowns. Kenny Chadwick is your quarterback, and Chadwick is going to give the ball up the middle of Darrell Prater, and he got 1 yard, 2 yards maybe. So they ran it right into the middle, and Darrell Prater picked up 2 yards. So we'll give him 1 yard to the 27. 1:55 to go. Fort Payne needs to get a quick touchdown here, I would think. And then let the defense see if they can stop Johnson. This one could get out of hand in a hurry if Fort Payne goes 3 downs and out here. Fort Payne will send Thomas Ross to the far side, and they line Alex Igo up in the slot on that far side. Steve Owen is your tight end on the near side. So Kenny Chadwick will roll back the pass, roll to this near side, and Chadwick is going to get by a player. Now he throws it in incomplete. Kenny Chadwick, any quarterback, especially, but Kenny has an awful time rolling off to his left side, having to throw the ball across his body. And that pass was incomplete.
Well, that time he did a good job of just not getting rolled off the field in on a stretcher. As number 10, Rodney Steele, was coming after him, and Kenny managed to make him miss somehow and lives for another play.
3rd and 8 for the Wildcats with 1:21 to go. And the Wildcats have Darrell Prater in at fullback and Anthony Thompson your tailback, and going to give it up, fake it up the middle, going to throw the ball. Kenny had it knocked, he completed up to the 38-yard line. That was an outstanding pass by Darrell Prater as he hit Thomas Ross for a first down at the 38-yard line.
Good job by Thomas holding on the ball immediately after he got the ball. He was hit, but he holds on, and as you say, Larry, it's a first down for Fort Payne.
9-yard pass completion. The Wildcats have it at the 39. 11-yard pass completion, actually, as the Wildcats will have it at the 39, so that was a big pass play. 1:10 to go in the third quarter. Fort Payne will give the ball to Darrell, and Darrell's going to be at the 40, 45. Darrell's going to be at the 50-yard line, and Darrell broke a tackle. He's all the way down to the 43. He ran over a Jaguar and just carried him from the 50 down to the 43-yard line. A big, big run by Darrell Prater. Wow, that was a big run. 8 to 19-yard run by Darrell. He went from the 39 to the 43 is where they mark it down. How many yards is that? 18-yard run. So 56 seconds to go in the third quarter. Fort Payne trying to answer this Johnson touchdown. As they send Payne on this near side with wideouts left and right. Going to throw the quick look in. It is. Did he caught it? Nope, he didn't catch it. Couldn't hang on to it. Tried to hit the quick look in to Thomas Ross. Pass was incomplete.
Well, the ball was thrown a little bit too far down and too low into the ground for Thomas to come up with that one.
So it will be, so Daryl Prater is injured, we say. Where is Daryl?
He's over on the sideline right now, Larry.
See his knee. We'll try to check that out, see what the problem is here. But here is Fort Payne. They're going to run up the middle. Kenny hits the ball to Anthony. Anthony to the 40, to the 35-yard line, and he's going to fight his way free. Broke the tackle, got to the 30-yard line, and is on into the 28. A big run there for Anthony Thompson. As Anthony Thompson went from the 43 down to the 29, a 14-yard gain for Anthony Thompson. Where is Daryl Prater?
And second effort there got him an extra 5 yards, Larry, so a good job by Thompson.
Yeah, Daryl is walking around down there, and he's re-injured that knee, but Fort Payne will have it at the 29-yard line with 26 seconds to go. And here is a double tight end set. Going to pitch the ball to Anthony. Anthony trying to cut it in. Got on the penalty play. Got to the 25. Got on into the 20, but check this flag. I think it's probably going to come back. Fort Payne stopped themselves twice on penalties on drives earlier. And let's see if the same thing happens on this one.
I think Fort Payne was holding number 20, Russell McGuire, on the play.
The officials are talking to Johnson. Fort Payne is backing up. The flag is laying all the way to the 32. It'll be a big step off against Fort Payne, and it will be, that would hurt, because all penalties hurt. But this will be a step off all the way back to the 42-yard line. And have they given a penalty indication yet? I think it was a hold, though. Yeah, there's the penalty. That's the call. So it'll be a 12-yard penalty. They step it all the way back to the 42. Darrell is still down around the 35 trying to walk from that knee that is injured. Fort Payne is going to have to mount this comeback without him. And now the officials have moved the ball to the hash mark. They had it sitting on the far side. Now they move it to a hash mark with 11 seconds to go in the third quarter. Fort Payne trails 28-7. Kenny Chadwick is your quarterback. And Chadwick will run his reverse. He gave it up the middle to Anthony Thompson. Anthony goes all the way to the 24-yard line. 25-yard line, a quick opener. They ran the quick trap and faked the reverse. Anthony Thompson went all the way down to the 25-yard line. And it's all timeout. That's the end of the quarter. At the end of the quarter, Fort Payne trails by a score of 28-7. We'll be back on the Wildcats Sports Network. Hey, they work on Daryl Prater's knee. Fort Payne's going to have to mount this comeback, it looks like, without Daryl Prater. As Daryl being worked on that far side, the Wildcats will face a second down after that long 16-yard run by Anthony Thompson. Second down and 4 for Fort Payne. But the fourth quarter, Roger's going to have to mount a comeback. Ronnie, you got any stats through 3?
Well, through 3, Fort Payne 205 yards on the ground. Johnson with 177. Johnson doing a lot of damage through the air. 172 yards in the air for J.O. Johnson. 316 to 223. Johnson out in front of total yardage, out in front of the Wildcats.
Fort Payne will be second down and about 3 from the Johnson 26-yard line. As this fourth quarter gets underway, the Wildcats have Thomas Ross to the near side. They line up in the I set. Jonathan Dreyer in there at the fullback position. Anthony Thompson is your tailback. Going to pitch the ball to Anthony, trying to sweep to the far side. Got a block outside, cut it inside, and got down to the 20-yard line and got his first down, I think. He got a big block over there from Jonathan Dreyer, and depends on the spot. They're going to mark him at the 19. It'll be right at that marker. And we'll have to wait and see. Roger, would you like to hazard a guess?
I'm going to break my streak. He is short.
You're right. Third and a yard. As they mark it just nose inside, that would be a 5-yard gain for Anthony. It'll be at the 20-yard line. They've got to get a yard for the first down, a little less than a yard maybe. And they're going to call on Jonathan Dreyer. He's going to lower his head, get his first down all the way down to the 15. Fort Payne needs to be in some kind of a hurry, though. They've got to get 3 touchdowns. There's only 11:19 to go in the game, as Jonathan took it down to the 15-yard line, a 5-yard gain for Jonathan Dreyer.
Excellent blocking that time by number 72, Rory Jones, allowed Dreyer to pick up the first down.
But the clock is moving down to 11:15 to go. The I set for the Wildcats. Kenny Chadwick to the line of scrimmage, and Fort Payne has a wide out left and right. Going to run his option play to the near side. Now pitching the ball to Anthony, and he's in trouble. And Anthony Thompson is going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. He lost a yard after all that, was able to struggle and get back to the line of scrimmage almost, but only lost a yard. They'll mark him at the 16, but the clock continues to run. 10:49 to go.
No one was out there to block off number 25, Michael Alexander, and he brought him down.
10:40 to go. Fort Payne 2nd and 11. They send double wides to the far side. A single receiver to the near side is Thomas Ross. Kenny Chadwick is your quarterback, and Chadwick looks over that Johnson defense. Chadwick will roll straight back, throws it out there to Heath Owen. He's completed to 15, and Heath is going to be into the 12-yard line. Didn't get a lot out of that. As Heath caught the ball and got it into the 12, it'll be 3rd down for the Wildcats and about 8 yards to go.
Basically, not a play you see run to a tight end very often, because most of the time tight ends really don't have that speed or quickness to outmaneuver the guy that is isolated on them. And indeed, Heath could not escape him, and it's a short gain on the play.
He's got 4 yards on the play. The clock is already under 10 minutes. Wildcats trail by 3 touchdowns. They have a wide out Thomas Ross to the near side. Kenny looks over that defense and maybe changes the play at the line of scrimmage. Now Kenny Chadwick will throw the ball to the end zone. It is going to be intercepted and dropped. Tried to run the quick play over there to Heath Owen, and should have been intercepted. It could have been a touchdown for Johnson, but he dropped it on the far side. Fort Payne will be 4th down already. Yep, Fort Payne's going to have to go for it on 4th down, trailing by 3 touchdowns.
That was Levi Bonds that almost came up with the interception. I wonder if he's related to Jeremiah Bonds.
Could be. Fort Payne's got to get it to the 5-yard line for the 1st down. And they have Kenny Chadwick in there at quarterback. And Kenny Chadwick's going to run his option play to the far side, run pass option. And Kenny throws it into the end zone, and it is going to be caught on a great catch down there. Who caught that ball? Justin Payne made a great catch. He went up, caught the ball over a Johnson defender on a penalty flag back here. Check this flag. Holding against Fort Payne. Well, nothing going right for the Wildcats. Flag laying right on the 20-yard line.
But a good job by Justin Payne as he managed to go after being pretty much trapped by the defensive backs for Johnson. He was able to leap from behind and make the catch. It'll go for nothing, as we're going to be called for holding.
Well, the officials were generous enough to pick the flag up and move it up to the 16-yard line, so Fort Payne will be penalized from there. Back to the 26, it'll be a 14-yard penalty against the Wildcats. Flag was laying beyond the 20, so if they do in fact step it back to the, it's back to the 27-yard line, so it'll be a 17-yard penalty against Fort Payne. Now the Wildcats have got to get to the 5-yard line for the 1st down. And I guess you're going to go desperation time and throw it to one of these receivers and see if they can make a play. But you got to hold this quick Johnson team out here. 9:29 to go. Looked like Fort Payne had gotten maybe back into it, but now they've got to get another touchdown as Kenny may be changing the play. Don't know what you would check to here on a 4th down and long. Fake the ball. Trying to set the screen. Now Kenny's in trouble running to the far side. And Kenny throws it, and it's going to be incomplete. Dropped it down there. That ball was thrown a little low, and who was it having to make the catch down there? Alex Igo?
Right, it bounced off the ground, and he tried to short hop it. Even if he had caught the ball, it would have gone over to Johnson.
So Johnson will get the football now, and I think any chance now that Fort Payne has of a comeback rests with Johnson turning it over. They're going to have to make a couple of silly mistakes here to get Fort Payne back in this game. It's 28-7. Johnson leads Fort Payne, and Fort Payne, unless they can rally, not any chance of having a winning season. They had to win the last 2 games to be 6-4. Now it looks like Fort Payne, about all they can hope for would be 5-5, and you got to beat a Pinson Valley team next week. They only lost 1 game. They're going to give the ball to Jeremiah Bonds. Bonds sweeping the far side, and Bonds is going to have about 3 yards before he's tackled out of bounds. Well, maybe got 5 yards out of it. Tackled out of bounds, that'll stop the clock. But it will be up to the 29. He'll pick up 3 yards on the play, did Bonds. But Fort Payne the touchdown right before halftime really hurt the Wildcats. And then the touchdown in the third quarter hurt the Wildcats. And then those two in the first quarter hurt the Wildcats,
didn't they?
Yeah, other than that, the Wildcats have played pretty well. So here is 2nd down and 8. They're going to give the ball to the coming this near side. Got across the 30, got to the 35. That's number 26. And that is his first carry of the night. Jamel Hope, just a 9th grader. And he ran it for up to from the 29 to the 34. He'll be a yard short of the first down. Picked up 6 yards on the play. So here is Johnson, 3rd down and a yard to go for the first down. With 8:30 to go in the game, and the clock is moving. They have Bonds in there, and Bonds is lined up in the wishbone set. And Bonds going to get the ball on the penalty play and check the flag. Somebody was lined up in the neutral zone. May have been Fort Payne. Johnson says it was Fort Payne. Yep. No, Johnson was lined up offsides. So I don't know if that's going to make a lot of difference or not, the way they've been moving the ball. And even if you hold them here, the clock's going to be under 8 minutes to go, and you trail by 3 touchdowns, penalize them back to the 30. So it'll be 3rd down now and about 7 for the first down. Actually, I don't guess it makes a whole lot of difference, but that was only a 4-yard penalty. From the 29 back to the 25, how far is that? 4 yards. But it doesn't matter, I don't guess. So here is Johnson, 3rd down and 7. And roll straight back to pass. He throws the ball down this near side. He has incomplete. He threw the ball before Nicholas Wells ever turned, but Wells was well covered down here by Nail and Sugar. And Johnson will have to kick it away, you would think. From the... Yeah, they're going to line up. Wally Steele's going to kick it away, and Kenny Chadwick is back in deep formation. So we'll see. How many yards Darrell Prater got?
Darrell ended up 21 carries, 127 yards.
No snap, and Steele got away a wobbly kick. Not much of a kick. It's going to bounce in midfield. Get away from it. David Crabtree almost hit David Crabtree in the leg. So Fort Payne will have it at the 48. We'll see if Darrell comes back into the game.
I don't think Darrell's going to play for the rest of the night. He's pretty much on the sidelines, sitting down.
Sitting down on the 30-yard line here by himself. So Darrell is done for the night. 127 yards.
127 yards, 21 carries.
So he's going to need about 100 yards next week if he's able to play to be the all-time leading single-game rusher in Wildcat history if he plays. Fort Payne has a lot of new faces in there now. Kenny Chadwick's going to run his option play and got a yard out of it. Wildcats have a lot of new faces in there. Justin Bates lined up in the whiteout on this near side. And Kenny ran for a yard to that far side.
Marco Pruitt made the tackle.
7:23 to go. Now they bring Justin Pate back in and put him as a wideout on this near side on the 2nd down and long. Going to throw the ball is Kenny. He throws. It is intercepted. At the 40, down to the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35. Knocked out of bounds by Kenny Chadwick at the 32-yard line. All bounced off the hands of Heath Owens and was kicked off and ran it all the way back to the Wildcat 32, and that's going to be the last nail in the coffin, I would think.
It's a great interception there by Marco Pruitt. And as he said, Larry, they'll take over. And with time running out here in the game, that could very well be the end.
Yep. It was not a bad pass, just bounced off the hands of Heath Owen and was run back to the 33 of Fort Payne by Marco Pruitt. So Johnson controls the game 28-7. Now they control the clock. 7:05 to go. The clock will start as soon as Johnson can get another lineman in there and run a play. Now they run him in that left tackle on this near side, Mike Watkins, and they run up the middle. That freshman ran it again and got it to the 30-yard line. As that was Jamel Hope, and he ran it to from the 33 to the 30. Picked up 3 yards on the play. So Fort Payne will see their record fall to 4-5 with a tough Pinson Valley team coming up next week. We don't know a lot about Pinson Valley, though. That we know they've only lost one game coming into the night. They lost the first game of the year, but then they have just run roughshod over everybody since then. Don't know the level of competition, but they've got to be good. They're going to come in here on a high note, obviously, and they're going to run, fumble the football. The ball's on the ground, and I think Johnson went after it as Jeremiah Bonds fumbled it, and then Johnson beat Fort Payne to the ball and recovered it.
Well, Jeremiah really looked like a bullfrog that time as he was trying to maintain possession of the ball and jumping around all over the field.
And lost 3 yards on the play. Back to the 32-yard line. It'll be 3rd down, but 6 minutes exactly to go in this game. And the Bullfrog has had a good night, though. How many yards did he run for?
Well, Bonds, 17 carries, just 17 carries for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So here is Johnson to the line of scrimmage. They're going to milk that clock for everything they can get out of it. They run to the wishbone set. Fort Payne rushes up on the line of scrimmage and back to pass and throws it across the middle. It is going to be complete and the 10-yard, 20-yard line, and it's going to be tackled down over there. That was an outstanding catch. I don't think we were afraid of their passing game, but that pass was complete. And your man, number 20, Russell McGuire, caught it, got it all the way down to the 20, a 12-yard gain and a 1st down.
Well, the one thing the quarterback has done a good job of is keeping the ball high, and his receivers have simply gone up and made the catch.
5:30 to go. How about, what is Wallace Russell's pass completion?
7 of 11 for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Now they clear the bench as Coach Harold Wells has sent in a bunch of reserves. And in there at quarterback will be number 2 that we don't even have on our roster. So we have no idea who number 2 is. But he is in there at quarterback, and they're going to get another delay of game penalty.
Also in the backfield, number 34 is Irvin Isbell.
We have a name for him?
Give me time.
Well,
what can you say about Irvin?
Not a whole lot. Back to the 25, so Coach Harold Wells calling off the dogs here as he puts his reserves in. Irvin Isbell, that number 34 you're talking about, just a 9th grader. He's got a lot of 9th graders in. Irvin is moved there, no penalty. Now they put a man in motion back to the far side and give it up middle to Irvin. And Irvin is going to be tackled there by a bunch of white shirts with under 5 minutes to go in the game. So good sportsmanship by Coach Harold Wells as he's called off the dogs. Doesn't need to score anymore and is content just to run this clock out as Wells goes for a yard there. .441 to go. Last road trip of the career for our man Ronnie Ross over there.
Oh, man.
It's been rough, hasn't it? We were reminiscing coming down here about some of the great times we've had. Ronnie's going to miss out on all these. Going to pitch the ball to the far side, and he's going to be tackled down after he got to the 22-yard line. That was number 21, Taurus Blackman. It'll be 3rd down and about 12 for Johnson with 4:06 to go in the game. And Johnson leading 28-7.
Great moments in Ronnie Ross history.
Yes, great moments.
I have to say, this is not one of them, though.
Yes, it's not one to remember.
It's not one of the better games here.
Fort Payne just really looked kind of flat tonight. And here's Johnson with a man in motion. They're going to pitch the ball coming to this near side. And he's going to be tackled right around the line of scrimmage. That's another one of those 9th graders, I think.
After we say all these nice things about you, Ronnie, you're not going to decide to come back, are you?
No.
Well, I just might.
There's Terry Miller, his first carry of the night, just a sophomore. Got it into the 19-yard line. 3:24 to go. It'll be 4th down and 9. And Johnson not content to do anything except run the clock out and get out of here with a victory.
Let's see, 2's out. Who's the quarterback in now?
6. Is that 6? Who is? No, 9 is in there quarterback now. That's another 9th grader, Marvell Davis. So a 9th grader in there quarterback on a 4th down play. Marvell may be their passing quarterback, and he rolls to pass. He throws. It's going to be intercepted there and by Fort Payne, and they've been better off to drop that one. But it was intercepted over there by number 27, Justin Garmany, and Fort Payne will have it at about the 15. But if Garmany could have held his feet, he might have been able to run down that far sideline.
Well, Marvell's pass was ugly.
So Fort Payne will get the ball back, trailing by 3 touchdowns with 2:51 to go in the game. And Johnson has reserves in there on defense also. Fort Payne has Chris Mitchell in at the fullback position. I think that's Mitchell, and now flag.
Johnson calls timeout, I believe.
Johnson called the timeout. Didn't have another. They only had 9 men on the field, I think. Johnson calls timeout. Timeout on the field with 2:51 to go. Johnson leads it by a score of 28-7. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Payne, and also Highway 75 Main Street in Fife, your Bridgestone and Firestone dealer.
Chadwick going to run that option play to the near side. Got across the 25 and got up to the 27-yard line. As Kenny Chadwick ran the option, went from the 16 to the 27, picked up his first down. Fort Payne a long way from getting back into this one. It'll be a first down for Fort Payne at the 27. 11-yard gain by Kenny. The clock has started again. 2:40 to go. Fort Payne has Chris Mitchell in there, fullback, and Anthony Thompson got it. Anthony got the ball, got across the 35, got to the 40, and probably picked up another first down. He did. Anthony got to that hole in a hurry and scampered for 11 yards with another Fort Payne first down. The Fort Payne 22 yards on back-to-back 11-yard gains. Now they have it at the 39, but Johnson has a lot of subs in there. 8 to go. Johnson's band is still happy, as you can hear. Kenny Chadwick is your quarterback, and Chadwick runs his option play, kept himself, cut it inside, great cut, got to the 45, got to the 50, and got another first down, fumbled the football. Johnson has it. Well, Kenny made a great play, then he fumbled the ball, and Johnson says they have it, and the referees now say they do.
That was a great cut by Kenny on the play. He was hit hard after picking up about 12 yards, and it comes loose.
Yep, so Johnson will get the football with 2:15 to go, and I'm sure they're probably just going to run the clock out. Well, this was not a pleasant experience tonight. Wildcats, second time they touched the ball, took it 80 yards and 18 plays, and haven't done anything since then. So here is Johnson with the football. And Johnson will just run the clock out. They've got one of those freshman quarterbacks in there, and he's going to pitch it, and they're going to get across the 50. Got to the 45, and now down to the 43-yard line. Then they ran Rodney Steele, the 10th grader, 2:06 to go. Johnson band, they're a happy bunch, aren't they?
Energetic.
Yeah. Steele runs it for about 7 yards. There they're through. Good sound by that Johnson band. 1:40 to go, and Johnson just running the clock out, leading Fort Payne by 3 touchdowns. They send the man in motion back to the far side, run the fullback, and he got a gaping hole, ran it to the 30, ran it to the 25, and on down to the 20-yard line. And who was that? That was number 6.
Marco Pruitt.
Marco Pruitt on the carry, and ran right at the heart of the Wildcat defense. Went from the 44 down to the 20. We'll mark him just inside the 20. So that looks like about a 24-yard gain there by Marco Pruitt. 1:25 to go in the game. The clock is moving. Johnson will improve to 3 wins, and Johnson will wrap up 3rd place in the area. So here is Johnson going to run the clock out if they can. Have a man in motion, and Johnson moves. No flag. How did they get away with that? They ran Marco Pruitt again. Looked like Johnson had a 3 linemen moving before the ball was snapped, but they ran Marco Pruitt at the heart of that Wildcat defense, and he got it down to the 13 with 1:11 to go. Picked up 8 yards on that play. 1:03 to go. Fort Payne would not like to see Johnson score again. We have some subs in there. We see McDaniel in there for Fort Payne on defense. So here is second down and about 3 with 47 seconds to go. And he's going to run his quarterback sneak. And he's going to get to the 7-yard line, 8-yard line. Picked up a first down as he just ran that quarterback sneak. Did that number 2 that we have no idea who he is, and ran it down to the Wildcat 7. With 37 seconds to go, clock is moving. Probably will be the last play of the game for Johnson. Not in any hurry. As they get it up to the line of scrimmage, the clock is moving. That band is, now they're really shucking and jiving down there. Band's putting on a show. Have they stopped playing tonight?
I don't know, all the fans and the bleachers are watching the band.
Took a knee there, did that number 2, and good sportsmanship. That'll be the last play of the game as he lost a couple of yards, and Johnson will mercifully not score a couple of touchdowns here late. Will wind up beating Fort Payne by a score of 28-7 as the Jaguars knock off the Wildcats and improve their record to 3 wins for the year. Fort Payne will see their record drop to 4-5 for the year. The Wildcats will be home next week, the end of the season, taking on Pinson Valley in a tough ball game. And Fort Payne's going to have to win that game to have a break-even season. Disappointment all around on the far side as Fort Payne loses it by a score of 28-7. So we'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network.